My beloved children, today I come to speak to you about something your eyes have seen many times in the news, but that your heart has almost never wanted to look at deeply. You have heard about cities shaking, mountains splitting, buildings collapsing as if made of paper, families losing everything in a matter of seconds. You have heard the word earthquake and perhaps felt a chill, murmured a short prayer, and then carried on with your life as if it were just a distant tragedy, someone else's pain, in another part of the world. But I, your mother, come to tell you something that heaven sees clearly. It's not just shifting tectonic plates. It's not just nature. There is a mystery that unites the trembling of the earth with the trembling of souls. There are visible tremors that capture everyone's attention, and invisible, silent tremors that almost no one wants to acknowledge. And yet, it is these latter ones that decide the eternal destiny of each one of us. From above, I have witnessed scenes that would break even the hardest heart. I have seen children being searched for among the rubble, mothers clutching the dusty bodies of their children, elderly people left alone, homeless, destitute, gazing at a horizon reduced to ruins. I have heard the cries, the laments, the promises made in the midst of panic. My God, if I get out of this alive, I will change, I will pray, I will return to the church, I will forgive. And I have also seen how many of those promises are forgotten as soon as the earth is still again. But even more than those external earthquakes, I witness daily the earthquakes that no one films, no one publishes, no one shares, the earthquakes of the heart. Those moments when your conscience is suddenly shaken, when a truth you've hidden for years comes to light within you, when a word, a look, a situation abruptly reveals that you've been living a lie. In those moments, my son, my daughter, the ground of your soul trembles, and often, instead of listening to that tremor, you rush to cover it up with noise, distraction, justifications. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a large city at night. Lights everywhere, cars driving by, people going in and out of buildings, screens lit in every window. Everything seems firm, safe, stable. But beneath that city, deep down, the tectonic plates have been slowly shifting for a long time. Tiny cracks open, invisible tensions appear. No one sees them, no one takes them seriously. No one changes their life because of them. Until one day, without warning, the tremor comes. In seconds, everything that seemed unbreakable shakes. What was poorly built falls, what was cracked breaks, what was held together only by appearances crumbles. The human heart is like that too. Outwardly, you may show smiles, kind words, a seemingly orderly life. Inwardly, however, cracks may be accumulating. Resentments you never healed, sins you didn't confess, selfish decisions you justified, forgiveness you refused to give, lies you chose to believe. For a time, everything seems to hold up. But there comes a moment when God's grace, in His infinite mercy, allows a great inner shaking so that nothing that isn't true can remain. I speak to you of a chain reaction of earthquakes because that is what the world is experiencing, both externally and internally. You see tremors in the economy, in politics, in nature, in the church, in families, and at the same time, many souls feel inner tremors they cannot name: restlessness, emptiness, weariness, saturation, a feeling that nothing truly fills them. Some call it anxiety, others stress, others an existential crisis. I, as a mother, recognize it for what it often is: the trembling of a heart that can no longer sustain a life without God. The earth was created to sing the glory of its Creator. Every mountain, every ocean, every valley, was intended to be a reflection of God's harmony and beauty. But when sin multiplies, when violence becomes normalized, when innocent blood cries out from the ground, all of creation groans. There is a profound connection between humanity's spiritual disorder and the disorder that erupts in creation. Not every physical earthquake has a directly spiritual cause, but many of nature's upheavals are permitted by God as cries, as calls to attention, as jolts meant to shatter indifference. I want you to hear this with your heart. Before the stones tremble, conscience trembles. Before a city is shaken, many hearts in that city were already trembling with guilt, sin, and rejection of grace. Before the ground opens up, souls had already opened themselves to much darkness. I don't say this so you live in generalized guilt, but so you understand. Nothing you do remains locked inside you. Your sin leaves traces. So does your conversion. My children, I have seen earthquakes that began with a single yes. A humble, small, but true yes. A father who decides to leave a double life and return home. A mother who returns to praying the rosary after years of neglect. A young man who leaves a relationship that distances him from God. An elderly person who, on the verge of death, kneels inwardly and says, "Forgive me, Lord, for all these years without you." These yeses are like jolts of light that spread one after another, affecting many. No one sees them on the news, but all of heaven watches them. I have also witnessed with sorrow earthquakes of darkness that began with a no. A no to the truth when it was clearly revealed. A no to fidelity in marriage. A no to the defense of life. A no to justice in the workplace. A no to the voice of God that gently called to the conscience. Each no hardens the heart a little more, like a layer of rock being added on top. And there comes a moment when, for that heart to be rescued, a very strong jolt is needed. The day the earth and souls tremble together will not be just a day of dramatic news. It will be, above all, a day of inner decisions. While some will look at the moving ground and feel only terror, others will look within themselves and understand that God in His love is shaking everything that does not save. There will be those who cling even more tightly to their false securities, and there will be those who, at last, let go and fall into the arms of my Son. I want you to ask yourself, honestly, not when that day will be, but how you are today. What are you building your life on? On the rock of God's will or on the sand of your whims, your desires, your fears? How many times have you felt a small tremor in your conscience and kept it to yourself? For example, that time you heard a homily that challenged you and you said, "This isn't for me." That conversation that left you unsettled, but you chose to forget it. That sin you kept silent about in confession out of shame. That decision you knew wasn't right, but you went ahead with it because you were already too involved. Each of those moments was a small internal shift in the earth of your soul. I was there, beside you, trying to make sure you didn't ignore it. I inspired you to stop, to look, to change, to ask for help, to confess. But many times you chose to go back to sleep. It's not that bad. There's still time. I'll change later. Sigh. Those phrases are like sedatives that numb the heart while the cracks keep growing. My son, my daughter, listen to me. I'm not speaking to you like this so you remain mired in guilt, but so you awaken to the truth of what you are experiencing. This is a time when many foundations are shifting. Projects that seemed secure are collapsing. Stable jobs are disappearing. Political systems are fracturing. Churches that considered themselves untouchable are being shaken by scandals. Apparently, strong families are crumbling. Don't just see it as bad luck or difficult times. See it also as a great upheaval permitted by God so that nothing false can remain hidden. When you allow grace to cause an earthquake within you, yes, it can hurt. It may mean acknowledging your mistakes, asking for forgiveness, letting go of toxic relationships, breaking bad habits, and making scary changes. But after that tremor, if you hold on to my hand and Jesus's, something new begins to take shape. You will see it as stronger, freer, and more real. What was once a life sustained by appearances becomes a life built on solid rock. I know the word catastrophe frightens you. You're scared of the thought of destruction, loss, and chaos. But let me reveal something profound. Sometimes what you call catastrophe is the only way for what is dead inside to receive life. If a tree is diseased to its very core, no matter how much you paint it on the outside, it won't bear fruit. It's necessary to prune, cut back, and uproot what's rotten so that something new can grow. The world has become filled with painted trees, decorated lives, perfect social media profiles, beautiful speeches, but without roots in God's truth. And when the winds of trial blow, those trees fall quickly. That is why I tell you today, with love but with firmness, do not be so afraid of external earthquakes. Fear more a heart that refuses to tremble before grace. A house can be rebuilt, a city can rise again, an economy can be reorganized, but a heart that stubbornly closes itself to the truth risks remaining hardened forever. I want to be with you through every tremor, big or small, through that diagnosis that changed your plans, through that news that shook your family, through that loss that left you powerless. I want to hold your face in my hands and tell you, don't just look at what's happening around you, look at what God wants to stir within you. There are purifications the world doesn't understand, but they will make your soul freer, purer, stronger. And I also want to be with you when the tremor is only internal, when no one knows what you're going through, when everything seems the same on the outside, but inside you feel something breaking. Your false sense of security, your pride, your self-sufficiency. That is often the most decisive earthquake. No one sees it, no one applauds it, no one talks about it, but the whole heaven bends down to watch because it knows that an eternal destiny is being played out there. My children, the day when the earth and souls tremble together will not be a day invented by human imagination. It will be the fruit of many accumulated yeses and many accumulated no's. It will be the moment when what was hidden comes to light, when what seemed stable reveals its fragility, when what seemed weak shows itself to be strong because it was in God. I do not come to give you dates, I come to prepare your heart. I do not come to feed your curiosity, I come to ignite conversions. And now, I want to take you even deeper into this mystery so that you may understand what happens in heaven when the earth shakes and what happens in my heart when even one of my children allows themselves to be shaken by the love of God. My son, my daughter, I want you to come a little further with me, higher, further from the surface of things, so that you may see with my eyes what happens when the earth trembles and when a soul truly trembles. For in heaven, nothing is seen as men see it. What you call disaster, tragedy, collapse, we also see as a mystery of grace, an hour in which the human heart is exposed and, for an instant, reveals itself as it truly is. When an earthquake shakes a place on earth, in that same second many hearts open and others close. Some turn to God with a heartfelt cry, Lord, have mercy on me, have mercy on my family, do not abandon us. Others, on the other hand, curse him, blame him, deny him even more. But listen to this profound truth. An external earthquake never makes you good or bad in and of itself. It only reveals what was already growing inside you. It is like a sudden light entering a messy room. It doesn't create the mess, it only reveals it. So it will be, and already is, with inner earthquakes. When grace shakes your conscience, when you suddenly see your life more clearly, when the sin you justified ceases to seem small and reveals itself as a real wound, that tremor doesn't automatically make you a saint. What decides is your response. If you humble yourself, if you acknowledge your need, if you allow yourself to be embraced, the tremor becomes a door. If you harden your heart, if you defend yourself, if you justify yourself, that same tremor can leave you more closed off than before. From heaven, I see a chain of tremors sweeping across the world, stronger now than ever before. These tremors affect families, parishes, communities, and entire countries. There are divisions, conflicts, confusion, and profound crises. Many are scandalized and ask, "Where is God? Why does He allow this?" I, on the other hand, see a God who, tired of being ignored, gently but insistently shakes everything that does not rely on Him. Think, my son, about how many times throughout history great crises have also been great opportunities for conversion. After wars, plagues, and natural disasters, many peoples returned to prayer, humility, and solidarity. There were souls who, having lost everything, discovered for the first time the only thing they truly had, God. Others, however, sank into resentment. The same thing happens today. The same thing happens within you every time something shifts. I want you to notice, for example, how you react when something in your life falls apart, a plan that doesn't work out, someone who disappoints you, a failure, a humiliation. Perhaps you feel anger, sadness, helplessness. Perhaps your first impulse is to say, "Why me?" But if, in the midst of that trembling, you stop for a moment and let me in, I will whisper very softly to you, "Listen, it's not just against you, it's not just against your dreams. It's an invitation to rely more on God and less on your own plans." There are earthquakes that come to uproot idols from your life that you didn't even know you worshipped. The idol of your fame, the idol of your control, the idol of your comfort, the idol of your image. These idols look beautiful while everything is still, but when the earth shakes, they fall from their pedestals and reveal themselves for what they are: fragile, empty statues that could never save anyone. My son, my daughter, I want you to dare to ask yourselves in front of me, what things do I fear losing the most? What would make me tremble so much that I would feel I can no longer live? These answers will often show you where you have placed your heart. It's not that you should stop loving people or valuing the gifts God has given you, but you do need to learn to love everything in God and for God, not as if they were gods. When the earth shakes and you have put God first, you feel the impact, but you don't completely collapse. When God occupies last place, any tremor leaves you teetering on the brink of the abyss. I also want to speak to you gently about the earthquakes that erupt inside when your past resurfaces. There are memories you've buried, situations you never wanted to confront, childhood wounds, abuse, betrayals, grave sins, decisions you changed out of fear. Sometimes a word, a face, a place awakens that past like a sudden tremor. You don't understand it. You feel like you're collapsing, like you're reliving the pain, and you might think it's cruel, that it should have been forgotten. Listen carefully. Many times, This trembling of memory is permitted by God to heal what remains open. It's not to destroy you, but to help you stop holding up walls that are collapsing around you. When a memory shakes you, you can escape, numb yourself, run away, deny it. Or you can, for the first time, bring it to my heart. Say to me, "Mother, I can't do this alone. It hurts. It shames me. It confuses me. Help me see it with you." In that humble act, an earthquake of grace begins. Perhaps you cry, perhaps you tremble, perhaps you feel that nothing makes sense. But if you stay with me, little by little, you will see that beneath the rubble there is a seed of life that God wants to rescue. The same is true of guilt. Many of you have been carrying unremitted guilt for years. You've gone to confession, yes, but deep down you continue to punish yourselves. You keep repeating to yourselves, "I don't deserve to be forgiven. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve God's attention." That voice doesn't come from heaven. That voice comes from the one who wants to keep you buried under an earthquake that has already passed. When the light of God's love touches that place again, there is a tremor. Your excuses fall away. Your self-accusations too, your masks shatter. You see yourself as small, fragile, needy. It's a real earthquake. But there, right there, I draw even closer and say to you, stop holding up ruins. Let mercy tear them down and build something new. My children, the day the earth and souls tremble together will also be a day of great clarity regarding what is authentic and what is not. Many works that seemed of God will be revealed as built on human pride. Religious projects, structures, and appearances of piety will be shaken. It will be seen what was true love and what was self-seeking. This will cause suffering for many, because they will realize that even within good things, selfish intentions were hidden. But this revelation does not have to destroy you. It is meant to purify. Think, for example, about how many times you've done something good, hoping to be seen, applauded, recognized. When you didn't receive recognition, you felt hurt, angry, resentful. That reveals that you weren't doing it solely out of love for God and neighbor, but also for yourself. Now imagine that. In a single instant, all of that becomes clear before you. Would it hurt? Yes. But if you accept the truth, you can say, "Lord, thank you for showing me this. I want to learn to truly love. I want my actions to be yours, not mine." That yes, uttered amidst inner trembling, is worth more than years of apparent tranquility. From my heart, I also see the upheavals that are shaking the church. Pastors are falling, scandals are coming to light, there are divisions, doctrinal confusion, and spiritual apathy. Many of my children are scandalized, lose their faith, drift away, judge, and condemn. Others, however, kneel, weep, make amends, and support. Let me tell you something important. Even within the church, structures that were not founded on humility and truth are collapsing. This is not the end of the church. It is a painful and necessary purification. Don't abandon the boat when it's rocking. Don't become everyone's merciless judge. Yes, be clear-headed, don't deny the facts. Don't idealize anyone. But instead of using every tremor as a reason to flee, use it as a call to be holier, more faithful, purer. When you see an earthquake in the church, ask yourself, what can I do to bring a little more light? Am I truly living the faith or just putting on an act of faith? That question, repeated sincerely, can trigger an earthquake of conversion in your life that will help many. My son, my daughter, I want you to look at your deepest fears. Perhaps you are afraid of losing your financial security, your health, someone you love, your reputation. Perhaps you are afraid that everything will suddenly shatter and you won't be able to hold on to anything. I understand you. I, as your mother, see those fears and I don't dismiss them. But I tell you, something you rarely dare to believe. The only place where nothing truly trembles is in the heart of my son. There are no cracks there, no faults there, no shifting tectonic plates. There is solid rock. Every time you decide, even if you're weak, to place an area of your life on that rock, a small earthquake occurs within you. A dependency, an idolatry, a false sense of security is shattered. It hurts, but it sets you free. That's why I invite you, before stronger tremors arrive, to begin letting grace move what needs to be moved. Ask yourself, what area of my life do I know is not in God, yet I keep putting it off? What sin do I repeat over and over and refuse to stop? What relationship is dragging me away from God's will and I don't want to let go of it? If, with my guidance, you take a concrete step, however small, in that direction, the chain of earthquakes of grace will have already begun. Look also at your tongue, your mind, your eyes. What do you consume? What do you say? What do you think when no one is watching? Perhaps there are no buildings collapsing around you, but inside there are structures of sin that remain standing only because they haven't yet been shaken. Ask God to gently show you where those fragile pillars are. Pray, Lord, shake everything in me that doesn't come from you, even if it costs me. I don't want to reach the great final earthquake with a life built on lies. As I tell you all this, don't think I'm speaking to you from afar. I walk with you through the ruins of your story. Where you see ruin, I see a place of rebuilding. Where you see cracks, I see spaces where light can enter. Where you see a broken heart, I see a heart finally open, where God can create something new. The day the earth and souls tremble together will be for many the most difficult day, but it can also be the beginning of the most beautiful time if they respond with humility. There will be tears, yes, there will be fear, there will be bewilderment. But above all, there will be a door of mercy open as never before. I want you to be on the side of those who cross it, not those who watch from afar and remain clinging to its ruins. And I still need to show you, in greater depth, how that great inner trembling will, at the same time, be an immense act of love. How the heart of my son will reveal itself in a new way, and how, after the shaking, a different ground will be prepared for those who say, yes, my son, my daughter. Now I want to bring you even closer to that mysterious moment when the earth and souls tremble together, not so that you live in terror, but so that you understand that behind everything there is a heart that loves and that never tires of seeking you. I want you to imagine for a moment what the world looks like from the sky when a great inner tremor begins. I'm not just talking about a country, a city, a town. I'm talking about souls scattered across all nations, speaking different languages, faces that have never seen each other but that are suddenly touched by the same light. It's as if an invisible wave were sweeping through humanity, passing from house to house, from room to room, from heart to heart. In one place, a man who always considered himself good, right, wakes up in the middle of the night with an inexplicable unease. His mind replays scenes from his life, business deals where he lied, opportunities where he could have helped but chose not to, harsh words he said to his children and never took back. He feels a kind of pressure in his chest, a mixture of shame and pain. There is no physical earthquake, nothing moves in the walls of his house, but inside everything is shaking. The false structure of his self-image begins to crumble. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a woman who had abandoned her faith years ago suddenly feels all the noise that filled her life fading away. The music she uses to numb her thoughts, the series she binge watches, the superficial conversations, everything suddenly tastes empty. She remembers the day of her first communion, her mother's hand teaching her to make the sign of the cross, the tears she once shed before an image of me when she was a child. It's as if a crack has opened in a very old wall, letting in a light she thought was extinguished. That light makes her tremble. She doesn't know whether to cry, run away, or kneel. The very ground of her heart is being shaken. Elsewhere in the world, a young man trapped in vice, resentful of his family and God, is suddenly confronted by his own reflection. In the silence of his room, with no one watching, he clearly sees all the damage he has done. Friendships dragged into darkness, lies, contempt for those who love him, contempt for himself. For a moment he is tempted to sink even deeper, to say, I am worthless, there is no solution. But at the same time, a very gentle voice whispers within him, Son, if you let yourself be reached right now, I can make everything right. That voice is me, calling to him amidst the earthquake of his conscience. This is how the great inner tremor will be seen on a massive scale, like a chain of jolts in souls, each one different but all caused by the same light. A light that does not come to humiliate, but to reveal. A light that does not come to crush, but to invite. My son will reveal himself to consciences as the truth that was always there, even though it was ignored. And each one will see himself in the light of that truth, without masks, without excuses, without escape. Many people ask me inwardly, Mother, will I be able to bear this? Will I be able to look at my life without despairing? I tell you, yes, if you let me hold you. The same hand that points out the cracks is the hand that wants to heal them. The same love that allows the shaking is the love that wants you not to remain buried under the rubble. The problem isn't seeing the truth. The problem is running away from it. I want to show you now what happens in families when the earth and their souls tremble together. In a home, during such a time, a father will get up from the sofa, turn off the screen, and with tears in his eyes say, Children, forgive me. I have been absent, I have been harsh, I have put my work, my pride, my vices first. Today I understand what I did to you. I don't want to continue like this. Perhaps his children won't respond right away, perhaps there will be silence, perhaps there will be recriminations, but that gesture, born amidst the trembling of his conscience, is the beginning of rebuilding. In another home, a mother will embrace a son she barely spoke to and say, I didn't know how to love you the way you needed. I judged you. I hurt you with my words. It pained me to see you far from God, but instead of praying more, I attacked you. Today, seeing my own life in God's light, I ask for your forgiveness. These words will be like a movement that rearranges everything inside, even if nothing on the outside suddenly changes. It is an earthquake of love. There will be marriages where, upon seeing the truth, couples will recognize their infidelities, lies, and omissions. It won't be easy. Tears, cries, heavy silences, perhaps even distance. But if, in the midst of it all, they kneel together, even if only inwardly, and say, Lord, we have destroyed much, but if you will, begin again. That trembling will be the beginning of immense grace. Where there seem to be only ruins, heaven will see new foundations. I also want to talk to you about the children and the elderly in that great tremor. The children, so often wounded by the sins of adults, will feel a special light. Many who have suffered abandonment, violence, and manipulation will experience that moment as a tender and strong embrace from God, who will tell them, I was always with you, even when those who should have cared for you didn't. Their tears, offered with simplicity, will be a seismic event of healing for many adults who never asked for forgiveness. The elderly, for their part, will see their past days with new clarity. Some will deeply lament, "I wasted so much time, I drifted away for so many years." But if now, in this final stretch, they open their hearts, their yes will carry precious weight. I will be especially close to them because I know how much loneliness and fear accumulate in old age. Don't think it's too late for them or for you. As long as there is one last heartbeat, there will be one last chance to tremble toward God and not away from Him. I also want to speak to you about an earthquake that almost no one talks about, the tremor of indifference. There are souls who don't shout, don't blaspheme, don't outwardly cause scandal, but they live in a lukewarmness that extinguishes everything. They don't do great evil, but neither do they do any decisive good. They go to church out of habit, they pray soullessly, they receive my Son without love. These souls will feel the tremor in a different way, as the sudden loss of that false tranquility. Suddenly, they will realize that their faith was comfortable, but not alive, that they participated in the sacred without allowing themselves to be transformed. This discovery will hurt because they will see how much time they wasted in a mediocrity they considered acceptable. But listen, that pain can become a fire. When a lukewarm soul allows itself to be shaken by the truth, it can come to love with a strength it never knew before. It can become an intercessor, a healer, a worshiper. It can begin to live the faith as a treasure and not as a burden. That is why I come now to awaken with my words those slumbering hearts before the great tremor catches them completely unprepared. Perhaps you find it hard to imagine that all of this will happen almost simultaneously in many places, in many souls. But for God, nothing is impossible. Time, as you experience it, does not limit His action. He can touch millions of consciences in an instant, like a ray of light that pierces a cloud and multiplies into 1,000 flashes. And in each of those consciences, I will be there, in a mysterious way, as Mother, holding, comforting, insisting. Do not be afraid, let this light show you. Do not close your eyes. However, I must also tell you with sorrow that there will be those who, even seeing the truth, will choose not to change. They will see their sins. They will see the damage they have caused. They will hear God's voice calling them. And yet they will still say to themselves, "I don't want to. I don't care." That decision hardens the heart in a terrible way. It's as if, after an earthquake that left cracks exposed, someone refused to repair them and chose to live on that broken ground until everything collapses. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be one of those who get used to the crack. That's why now, while you're still in this waiting period, I invite you to something very concrete. Begin to experience your little tremors as training for that great day. When a word from the gospel touches you, don't ignore it. When a homily makes you uncomfortable, don't run away. When someone's comment confronts you, don't defend yourself so quickly. When in prayer you feel that God is pointing something out to you, don't change the subject. Stay, ask questions, listen. Let the ground in your heart shift a little more so that false roots loosen and true roots sink deeper. Don't wait until you feel worthy to respond. Don't wait until everything is in order. Don't wait for a better time. Every time you postpone responding to God's love, you add a thin layer of rock to your heart. And the harder the surface, the stronger the tremor will have to be to break through. I don't want you to need violent jolts to awaken. I want you to awaken with my voice, with my calls, with these words that now reach you. Consider also your role in this chain of tremors. You are not merely a spectator. You can be the cause of earthquakes of grace in others. An inspired word you speak, a pardon you grant, a silent act of help you offer, a concrete act of love within your family. All of these can shake the soul of someone who thought they were lost. Just as evil spreads in a chain reaction, so does good. Just as a selfish decision affects many, a single decision of sincere love can change the lives of more people than you can imagine. I invite you, starting today, to see yourself as a small plate of light that can move other plates around it. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be available. Say to yourself, Mother, if a tremor of my conversion can help others awaken, do with me what you must. I don't want a quiet but sterile life. I prefer a life shaken by grace, even if it hurts, if it draws me closer to the heart of your Son. While the world remains obsessed with predicting disasters, setting dates, and searching for external signs, I am silently shaping prepared hearts. Hearts that will not experience the great earthquake as an absurd punishment, but as an extreme opportunity for love. Hearts that will know how to support others when the shaking comes. Hearts that, though they tremble, will not break completely because they have already learned to lean on the rock. And I still need to reveal more to you. What that experience of seeing your naked soul in the light of God will be like from within. What those who allow themselves to be embraced will feel, and what destiny awaits those who choose, even after the tremor, to continue walking on their own ruins. My son, my daughter, now I want to take you to the most delicate point of this entire mystery, the moment when, in the midst of all those tremors, you will see yourself as God sees you. Not as you imagine yourself, not as others describe you, not as the masks you learned to wear, but as you truly are. I want you to imagine that suddenly all noise fades away. It doesn't matter where you are, at home, at work, on the street, in a church, even alone in your room. For a moment, time, as you understand it, seems to stop. What worried you a few seconds ago no longer carries the same weight. You feel something strange, as if someone were looking at you with a depth you've never felt before. It's not a gaze coming from outside, from someone in front of you. It's a gaze that pierces everything, enters you, envelops you. That's my son's look. You won't see it with your physical eyes, but with the eyes of your soul. And the moment that gaze finds you, you'll begin to see your own life reflected in it. You won't just see isolated scenes. It won't be a chaotic film. You'll see a line, a story, a thread that connects moments you had forgotten, decisions you considered insignificant, words you thought the wind had carried away. The first thing you will feel is absolute certainty. God exists and has always been there. All mental doubt, all excuses, all the philosophies you use to justify your distancing yourself will become small and fragile like wet paper. You will see that in every moment of your life there was a presence that sustained you, even when you closed the door to it. This will make you tremble inside with a different kind of tremor, the tremor of wonder. Then that light will begin to descend, so to speak, into every corner of your story. You will see your childhood, your first acts of love, your first wounds. You will see the moments when someone hurt you and how you reacted. You will also see the moments when you hurt others. There will be scenes in which your heart will tremble with gratitude. I didn't know God was so close to me there on that day, in that hospital, in that accident, on that night when I wanted to give up. You will understand how many times you were rescued without even knowing it. But there will be other scenes that will make your soul tremble with pain. You will see each sin not just as a transgression of a law, but as a blow to love. You will see the faces of those you hurt with your selfish choices, You will see those you ignored when they needed you. You will see the opportunities to forgive that you rejected. You will see the times you could have loved more and chose comfort or revenge. That will be a very powerful inner earthquake. I'm not telling you this to torment you, but so you understand. God's light is not a cold light. It's a light that makes you feel, at the same time, completely known and completely loved. That's why the experience will be so intense. You will cry, yes. You will feel shame, yes. But you will also feel something you have rarely experienced, the certainty that, even with all that misery, you are not rejected. It's as if, amidst the dust of a collapsing building, someone were to make their way through, take your hand and say, I have always seen you. I have always sought you. And now, at last, you see yourself as I saw you. Do you want us to rebuild together? That voice will be Jesus's, and I will be by his side as I was at the foot of the cross, looking at you with a love that no tremor can destroy. There will be a particularly powerful moment when you see the link between your sins and the cross. You will see that every time you chose hatred, lies, infidelity, indifference toward the poor, contempt for the commandments, all of that did not just float in the air. It fell upon him. You will see the cross not only as a symbol, but as the place where the weight of your selfishness and the selfishness of many was laid down. You will see the wounds of my Son and understand that your name is written there, not to condemn you, but to tell you, I did it for you. That discovery will make the soul tremble like never before. Some, upon seeing it, will break down in tears of love and such profound regret that they will feel something tear away from them. Chains, bonds, resentments, guilt clinging like dust to their hearts for years. It will be like a great inner collapse, yes, but to make room for something new, true freedom. Others, however, seeing themselves like this, will feel a great temptation to flee. The enemy will try to use that light to whisper to you, look at yourself, you are horrible, you are beyond redemption, you don't deserve love, God is showing you this to crush you. And I, at that very moment, will draw even closer to your soul and say to you, do not listen to that voice. The light you now see is not to destroy you, it is to save you. Do not flee from the physician when he shows you the wound. Let yourself be healed. I want you to understand something crucial. At that moment, you won't be asked for perfection. You'll be asked for a response. You won't be asked to fix everything you did wrong in a second. You'll be asked to choose between remaining in your ruins or letting God transform them into a new foundation. To choose between pride that is defended and humility that is surrendered. Those souls who, even trembling, say, yes, Lord, I accept the truth. I accept your love. Forgive me. Change my life. Will experience that earthquake as the great beginning of a time of grace. Their story, perhaps marked by so many mistakes, will become a testament to an inconceivable mercy. Their tears will be gathered like purifying water. Their wounds healed will become places where others will receive comfort. On the other hand, those souls who, seeing the truth, grit their teeth and say inwardly, I'm not going to change, I prefer to keep being in charge, I prefer my own way, will harden, not because God abandons them, but because they cling even more tightly to what destroys them. That will be the great danger of the great earthquake. Not what God reveals, but what the heart decides to do with that light. My son, my daughter, why am I telling you all this before it happens? Because I want to help you train your response right now. Every time God shows you a small truth about yourself, impatience, pride, a lack of love, lukewarmness, you have before you a miniature of that great moment. If you learn today to say, Lord, you are right, I don't want to continue like this, help me to change, you will be preparing your soul so that when the shaking is much greater, your response will be the same, only more profound. Don't wait to see everything before you start to change. Begin with what you already see. Don't say, "When that great day arrives, I'll truly convert." A true conversion begins in the everyday, in how you speak, how you look, how you spend your time, how you treat your family, how you use your money, how you present yourself before God. Every act of humility you perform today is a new brick on rock. Every sincere confession you make today is a crack repaired before the shaking becomes too strong. I also want you to consider something the world rarely considers: the trembling of those who have harmed so many from positions of power. I speak of those who have used their authority in politics, in economics, in the media, even within the church, to exploit, manipulate, confuse, and crush. These souls will see, with a clarity that will shake them to their core, the effect of their decisions on thousands, perhaps millions of people. They will see how a single unjust law opened the door to countless misfortunes, how a false teaching led many astray from the truth, how a scandal extinguished the faith of the humble. For them, the inner turmoil will be immense. Some, touched by profound grace, will be utterly devastated and weep like never before, acknowledging their responsibility. If they surrender to mercy, even though they have much to atone for, they too will find a way. Others, however, will cling even more tightly to their pride, justifying everything, always blaming others. These will remain standing on ruins they themselves created. I'm not telling you this so you'll spend your time pointing fingers at the big culprits, but so you'll understand that no one is exempt from this process, neither those at the top nor those at the bottom, neither those who command nor those who obey, neither those with a well-known name nor those who live in hiding. Everyone will experience the tremor of truth, and every yes, every no will echo through eternity. Now, I want you to look with me at a brighter side of all this, one that you might find hard to see. Imagine a world after the great earthquake, a world where many have said yes to the light. It won't be a perfect world, because freedom will still exist and sin will still be possible. But it will be a different world. There will be more simplicity, more prayer, more sincerity. Masks will fall more easily, appearances will have less power, and hearts will seek what is essential. In that world, small communities, families, prayer groups, and parishes will arise where faith is lived more authentically. There will be less shame in speaking of God and more shame in living against Him. The Eucharist, confession, and the Word will be more highly valued. Many who are far away today will become silent apostles. Many homes will become places of spiritual refuge, where souls shaken by the truth will find open arms, not cold judgment. You can be part of that new world, even if you don't see it fully realized in your time. You can prepare your home, your heart, your surroundings, so that when souls begin to tremble and search, they will find in you someone who has already experienced their own earthquake of conversion and is not afraid of the truth. Someone who knows how to accompany, listen, correct with love, and embrace without lying. But I must also warn you, if after seeing the truth, after feeling the tremors, you go back to living as if nothing happened, your heart will harden even more. It's like an engineer inspecting a cracked building, showing you all the dangerous spots, offering you the materials to repair it, and you decide to leave everything as it is, only painting the facade. When the next tremor comes, the damage will be far greater. Therefore, now that you are still in this time when I speak to you gently, without shaking you to your core, I ask you, Do not waste this preparation. Do not say, "This message is interesting," and return to your routine as if it were just another curiosity. Let it in. Let it work. Let it unsettle you. Let it stir something within you. Do not silence this voice. My son, my daughter, I am weaving with my words an invisible net around your soul. It is a net of tenderness, of truth, of warning, of comfort. I want to catch you before you fall into the void of despair. I want that when the great tremor comes, the one in which the earth and soul shake at the same time, you can remember all this and say, "I am not alone. I am not lost. My mother spoke to me. She prepared me. She taught me what to do. But I am not finished yet. I still need to show you what happens to those souls who, after being shaken by mercy, become pillars for others, and also what happens to those who, by their own choice, prefer to continue building on ruins even after having seen the truth. My son, my daughter." Now listen with a very still heart to what I'm going to tell you to close this call. You've heard about earthquakes, cascading tremors, and collapsing structures. You've witnessed with me the fragility of everything the world believed to be solid. You've glimpsed, even if only for a moment, the cracks in your own soul, the inner stirrings you so often chose to ignore. And perhaps, as you listened, you felt fear, uncertainty, maybe even guilt. But I want you to engrave something very deep in your heart. I'm not speaking to condemn you. I'm speaking because there is still time. Yes, my son, my daughter, there is still time. Not to remain asleep, not to continue playing with sin, not to continue building without God, but to decide once and for all on which rock you want to live and die. The world will continue to tremble. You know it. Nothing you see around you is eternal. Not cities, not systems, not applause, not riches. All of that will pass. But there is something that does not pass. My son's love for you. That love does not waver, does not crack, does not crumble. It was nailed to a cross and remains open for you today, now, at this very moment. That is why I tell you with the strength of a mother who can no longer remain silent. Don't wait for the big earthquake to change. Don't wait until everything breaks down on the outside to start repairing what's inside. Don't wait to see spectacular signs in the sky to believe that the sky is already speaking to you. The true tremor that decides your eternity occurs when you finally say, "Lord, I am tired of living without you. I'm tired of holding up walls that are falling down. I'm tired of pretending everything is okay when inside I'm falling apart. Break what needs to be broken, but don't let go of me. Make my heart tremble, but take me to your heart." If you say this prayer, even in a whisper, even with fear, even without knowing how to continue, the earthquake of grace has already begun within you. The collapse of falsehood has already begun. The rebuilding on rock has already begun. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be honest. I'm not asking you to never be afraid again. I'm asking that when you are afraid, you run to me. I'm not asking you to never fall again. I'm asking you not to get used to the ground, to always get back up with my help. Listen carefully. When the earth trembles, when the news screams fear, when everyone runs without knowing where to go, I want you to remember these words. There is one place that does not tremble, the heart of Jesus. There is a refuge that does not crack, my immaculate heart. There is one hand that never lets go, the hand of your mother. If you take refuge there, you may cry, you may tremble, you may lose many things, but you will not lose the only thing that matters, your soul and your eternity. I ask you for something concrete, very concrete. as a conclusion to everything I've told you. Let grace cause the first tremor today, not tomorrow. Go to confession with truth. Cry if you need to. Don't be ashamed. My son is waiting for you there. Return to the rosary. Each Hail Mary is like a small movement that breaks ancient chains. Return to the Eucharist with a humble heart. Let that bread sustain your inner being when everything else is in turmoil. Ask for forgiveness and offer forgiveness. There are earthquakes of reconciliation that save entire families. You might be thinking, what good is my little yes in the midst of a world that is shaking? And I answer you, a single heart that truly gives itself can change the history of many souls. A single tremor of conversion can stop a chain of destruction and start a chain of light. My son, my daughter, do not underestimate what heaven is offering you today. While many laugh, get distracted, shut down, you are here listening. It's not a coincidence. It never was a coincidence. I myself have brought you to this point on the path. That's why now, as a mother, I'm doing something I rarely do so directly. I beg you, yes, I beg you, don't harden your heart any further. Don't silence this voice. Do not build on lies what God wants to build on truth. If you feel your soul trembling now, don't run away. That trembling is the embrace of a God who no longer wants to see you lost. It's my hand gently shaking your shoulder to tell you, wake up. This is the moment. This is the day. This is the hour. I will be with you through every jolt, every night of fear, every doubt, every tear. When you feel alone, place your hand on your heart and say, Mother, everything trembles, except your love for me. Don't let go of me. Don't let me go back. And I promise you, from now on, that I will not let you go. The day will come when every tear will be wiped away, when every wound will be healed, when there will be no more tremors, neither on earth nor in souls. Until that day, I want to see you standing, even if you're trembling, but standing in God. Because the world may continue to tremble, but a heart that surrenders itself completely to my Son, He Himself becomes something that not even the greatest earthquakes can bring down. And that heart, my son, my daughter, I want it to be yours